Hi everyone, Dominic Esposito, your drill instructor. Welcome to another night of the clinic. Thanks to our sponsors and to all of you fans and friends. I love you and we got a lot to cover tonight. Okay, listen, I got some mail this week that made me have to go watch this dramatic ending of this men's 10-ball event, and it had to do with some very special player who got 3 fouled, and it ended in the win for the other person. Let's so you know who it is if you don't know. I just want to show you how to make these shots. So let's get started. Everybody misses. Come on, it's just a fact. So what you need to do is just learn how to get your head wrapped around the idea that you can miscalculate, you can misinterpret, you can overreact, you can be too hasty. There can be all kinds of reasons why the execution of your shot doesn't work out. But we can certainly, during practice times, work specifically on those things that I'm about to show you. Okay, this is the actual table layout of the first foul that happened. An excellent safety was played that put the cue ball back here behind the 5 and the 8. The balls are basically in the exact same position they are at the time of the foul, and his execution was to hit this rail to try to drive it into the 2. And the cue ball basically went around, it hit the rail here, and then it came back around here, and then it just continued to float up the table, and that was the end of disaster number 1. Let me show you exactly how we could have fixed this. In my book, 52 Advanced Shots, I teach you all 7 of the 1-rail kicking and the 2-rail kicking systems. But in addition to that, I have been telling all of you for a long time now about the bank rail angle calculator. Exactly. This is the device that will show you precisely how to work with your parallel shifting, kicking for 1, 2 rails, all your banks, your kicks, and so on, but as a practice tool. Even though I use it during competition, unless they say I can't, well, at that point, it doesn't matter because I already know the methodologies. But specifically for practicing purposes, having this is going to make all the difference. This 3-ball makes it very likely that a 2-rail kick could not work because you would have to then shoot lower into the rail to come off the 2nd rail to come back to hit the 2. But I know he's actually trying to shoot and make this 2-ball into the corner pocket. So it's technically a 1-rail kick shot, but you still measure it exactly the same. On a 1-rail kick shot, the most important thing you need to remember is one word, the word mirror. And the word mirror would be specifically tied to this 2-ball. So the mirror to this 2-ball, as the mirror always runs along the cushion, is going to be right here directly across from this 2-ball. So if he were to take the distance between the cue ball and the 2-ball and place his stick exactly in the center and then point to that mirror ball, you see that right there, pointing to that mirror ball from the center here, there becomes the parallel adjustment that he would aim to, which now would be right here on the rail. So this is the spot, you see where the ferrule is on my cue, and directly between these 2 diamonds, you're going to find this exact spot. And then that's where he would shoot. Now, normally with 1-rail kicking, there are a couple of key things you need to be thinking through. Number 1, you're going to use the idea where you're shooting into the box. So you're going to be using running in. You need to use running English. But in this case, if you notice, he had to be jacked up over the ball. Number 2, the cloth is still sliding. So there needs to be calculations for the sliding cloth, which he didn't consider. And we saw what happened. It was a wreck. But we don't have to be a wreck with a little bit more knowledge of the calculations. And this is what I'm teaching you right now. When the table slides, whatever the distance is between these 2 balls and diamonds, and here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you automatically would make a 5 tips of your cue. So it's really about a 13 millimeter, 12 and a half, 13 millimeter adjustment. But from the point of where you think you're going to hit the rail, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had to make that adjustment in order to compensate for the slide of the cue ball when it turned in. Well, there was no compensation for that in the calculations, at least none that was going on. Secondly, you'll also notice a lot of times the pros, they'll just kind of be looking and they don't really measure anything, and then they shoot. And they're basically doing two things, and I'll tell you what they are. The first one, legitimately, they're doing all the computations in their head. The second is they don't know the formula. So if they did know the formula, then as a result of pride, they wouldn't let anybody know that they were actually doing this and then picking up a cue and measuring it, God forbid. No, but if they don't know the formula, then they're only guessing. And, well, you're not going to be any better off than anybody else who's taking a guess. A guess is hoping for a chance to get lucky. We don't have to. So what I'm going to do here, if I had my bank rail angle calculator for a one rail kick, first things first, I'm going to step back. I'm going to take a look from this ball on the left side line, this ball on the right side line, and the center line is going to point directly to the mirror. So the first thing I do is I take this, there it is, I can already see it, and the first thing I'm telling you right now it shows me is I need to be aiming right here, okay? So now that I know where the aiming point is right here, I can then go ahead and just take the shot. Let's go ahead and double check how you might do this during practice. First things first, take the measurement between the two, point to the mirror, pick it up, bring it across the ball, and boom, there's your spot. Now, you can take a piece of chalk or anything else, or go ahead and just take an actual piece of chalk, put it there, say, okay, that's where I'm supposed to be aiming. Then take your bank rail angle calculator and check yourself and see if you're actually right. Now from here I come back in, I'm taking all the measurements, I can see right through it, I can see right where it is, and that is actually exactly right. That's where I'm supposed to be. So let's go ahead and take the shot. Okay? And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. See? There was no adjustment for the compensation of table slide for jacking up, and we didn't apply the proper English. Now let's go ahead and apply that into the shot and see why it would have made a difference. Let's do it. Put the cue ball right back. I already know the calculations, okay? But I'm going to automatically begin to make the computation for the English, the slide, and take it from there. So, number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a one rail kick. It gets one tip of English. Why? Because once I jacked up, it compensated already for one of my tips. So typical running English is 2 tips to the side and 1 tip up. You got that? But when you're jacking up your cue, you back off 1 tip automatically. Yeah, that's a really important note. Pay attention to it. Here comes the shot. Ready? So now I take the aim, I make the adjustment, I bring it in, I'm center cue, and now I apply my 1 tip of top, and the shot's going to turn out quite different. Okay, I can't help that, but I'm not giving up. Foul 1. And this is why the bank rail angle calculator is so important, and also that little tip about table slide, which is not in any of my books. I only usually teach that privately, but in this case, you needed to know it. And that's the solution to that problem, and that's how he could have shot that shot. And if I have time, the next time's around, I'll show you the other 2 blunders, but they're all going to be exactly the same way. It didn't require a foul to happen. You just needed to know the computation. Now, those of you get a bank rail angle calculator. It comes with an extra bonus card with all of the frozen bank shots positions, so you'll learn to know those. It comes in a beautiful carry case. Go to the drillinstructor.us. Go to the drillinstructor.us. I know a lot of you like the sliders on my cue. I'm going to go in and throw in some extra little bonus for you. I'm going to give you a slider I want you to be able to try it, see how you like it in the package. And thanks so much for joining me, everybody. I love you. God bless you. Aim straight, shoot straight, split the pockets. That's the drill instructor way. We don't miss like those kinds of misses. Bank Rail Angle Calculator. See you then. Bye-bye.